It's all the things America wants to be and tries to be, except is not. And Australia is, in fact, way fucking cooler, way better, cares about their people, cares about the environment, cares about nature, cares about delicious fucking food and like doing the right thing and having gun
The
control.
Aussie
And like,
brekkies.
oh my God,
The
forget about
breakfast.
it, love. Don't get me going about an Aussie brekkie, love. Oh, take me out to fucking brunch, you know?
I mean,
hello and welcome, listeners, to episode 2 of the Tess Sullivan Show. Today, I am joined by a dear, dear enemy of mine. Just kidding. A dearly beloved member of my community. He is co-owner of Tizzy K's Cereal Ice Cream, producer of this podcast, creator of Tizzy K Productions, inspirator of other podcasts, co-host of I Don't Have Time to Google That Shit. Please welcome, without further ado, give a round of applause to mi novio, my ribes, my didos, Kelly Ireland.
hey, nice intro. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. In case it wasn't clear, he is my boyfriend, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're so welcome. Tell us about, your quarantine. Where are you at today? Where have you been and why haven't you been talking to me?
Full disclosure, should we tell the people our setup right now?
Oh, you tell us where you've been, boy.
All right. So I am in the other room from you.
That wall, not this wall, but that wall is the only thing separating us. But
yeah, exactly.
In order to stay in, congruency, if you will, with other podcasts that we will be zooming in the quarantitos, burritos, in these COVID quarro times, we figured we would zoom from opposite rooms, much like my prior and guests to come. We will have to be in 2 separate places, and we thought it would remain
consistent.
Thank you.
I feel like it'll be best, and with with how Zoom works with changing.
Oh, switch cam. It does. It keeps it more lively and exciting this way.
Yeah, it's nicer.
In case the conversation is boring AF, the camera angles will help us.
Exactly.
So let's start by saying, I noticed a little something different about you, which is real shirt on.
Real shirt on.
Somebody's wearing a real shirt today.
Yeah, I have jeans on too, which I put on the other day.
Ditto.
I think, to go out and get groceries. And
so formal.
It's crazy how, in real world times you wear the jeans. Well, I have one pair of jeans and that's all I wear when I go out.
And that's generally, that's your everyday, everything look. But for others, jeans might be like very casual, most casual. We would typically rate jeans on the casual scale. Now you put on jeans and it's like this. Even just with a sweatshirt, most dressed up I've been in a month for sure. Also,
with the sweatshirt too. The sweatshirt is the most.
The sweatshirt is, and this one's sort of like a nice one. It has this like cute neck. It's got some detailing. I like the mauve.
Well, you look great.
Ring. Thank you. Mauve's a good color on me. I have to say, mauve's a good color on me.
What is it, mauve?
Hun, sweetie, not the mafia, darlings, my sweetie. Mauve. It's a color of the mauve. It's a mix between a blushy purple and a pink.
Oh, I can't even tell what you're saying with your accent.
Sweetie, it was reserved for older.
Mauve, hon.
Mauve. It would be sort of like if I could have more of that, but then mauve. So start with asking for more and then just end it with a V. Let's hear.
Mauve.
Perfect. You did it perfectly.
Good direction.
The
Good
thing
direction.
about mauve is it was unfortunately and tragically reserved for the elder women of the community, I do believe, which is why you perhaps do not have this word and color in your vernacular. I recall a time not long ago, or it was long ago, maybe 7 years ago now, that I danced around an old mauve chair at a consignment shop, and I sort of perused and then sat and then danced around it a few times until a worker came over and he said, "Are you looking at that ugly old lady mauve chair for a reason?" I was like, "Because I'm going to bring it home with me, darling. It's beautiful." So, anyways,
But you didn't.
I didn't actually. It was probably
See,
$40. $40 too much.
yeah, you when you go out to stores, you're very comfortable with using it
Yeah, and then not
in
buying
the
it
store.
still.
Yeah, going chair furniture shopping with you is tough. Well, I guess in that case you got to sit on the thing, right?
Gotta sit on it, hun. What am I gonna do? Not sit on it and then get it home and realize it's the most uncomfortable chair and I bought it from a secondhand shop where I can't even return it? Darling, how foolish. So I have to tell the listeners, I'm just feeling very much into, not that I would say like I have a British ancestry, because well I sort of do. Like I believe my grandmother on my father's side, is English, and I have a bit of English in me, and maybe that's perhaps where it's come from. But to get right into it today, I sort of want to tell the listeners about how, and ask you if you have anything similar, or if it's just a bit of like like a little bit of a screw loose or a bit of a screw too tight on one side, not really sure. But for me, always when I sort of have a monologue or with myself in the mirror, love, I speak in a British accent.
Really?
Not Oh yeah.
I mean,
If
I
I'm
always hear you speaking in a British accent, but
I can't help it, love. It's sort of like ingrained in me. Like this is like how I was supposed to talk all along, and then somebody just put me in New England instead of England itself, and I got all fucked up and turned upside down in my head.
well, you're quite good at accents.
And now I just talk like this, hon, and I'm like, "Hey, honey, baby, what's up? Sugar pie, honey."
So you don't feel like that's you. It's more
Oh
the
no,
British. Well, because
love.
it classes you up. It classes you up.
And I was meant to be of that class, sort of thing. It's like I was destined for tea and crumpets and fancy dresses and florals and peonies and just
Well, if I could do accents, I would definitely always be breaking out my Irish accent.
let's hear it, love. Let's hear your first approach at it, huh?
No, I can't do
I'll,
it.
t-
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
I have
take a
no
whack at
accent.
it.
Was that
Well,
yours?
oh no, love. No, love. I don't really do much of a Scottish or in Irish. They're a bit difficult for me. And
Oh, that's pretty good.
yeah, I know there's some noises like that, but it's not one I spent a lot of time sort of discovering or playing around with. And so I don't feel as comfortable to sort of just slip into a character like Catherine, Catherine, Veronica. She's sort of, she's parts of me. Whereas, though I am Irish, last name Sullivan, hail from the county of Cork. Hail from the county of Cork, my love. I don't know. I don't even know from the county of Cork. I think I heard it once and I said, "Oh, right, that's where I'll be from," because now I know a place there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
But anyways, love, let's jump right into the podcast today. And I'm so glad to have you here, as I am building my resurgence and coming out of the cocoon, the chorus cocoon that I've put myself in. And
Yeah, I mean, how are you enjoying the podcast?
well,
As your podcast producer.
as my podcast producer, I've been, and I feel like this is something I've spoken to you about, and I look forward to speaking to others about and future guests of mine. but I have been dealing with just some issues of limited beliefs and things, and thinking, oh, well, why should I make a podcast? What do I have to say? What's going to be entertaining? And then I sort of have to take a step back and realize and remember that I listen to so many casual podcasts, whether they're comedy or friends speaking to each other. I think that I have I float the spectrum between serious and wanting to talk about women's empowerments and global issues and real fucking shit that I'm dealing with, and also being a comedic clown, and how to hone that in and deliver that in one podcast. I'm never certain if it can be one podcast, or I need to have multiple podcasts, or if you can seamlessly navigate all these things in one individual podcast. Can I go from serious to funny? And so I've been working on myself. I have not done a podcast at all in a month. We started quarantine over a month ago. I did one podcast, and then I sort of floundered for a while and sat in my insecurities, bathing in insecurities. And I've come out on the other end. And I actually just did a meditation prior to this podcast. And it was fantastic. Might I tell you about it? I'm currently rolling between 3 meditation apps, actually. I got the Sam Harris app per instruction from Nikki Glazer, my main bitch. She has sort of subscribed to this guy for a while. She let her listeners know weeks and weeks ago that if you can't afford it right now, which we are out of work and have been for over a month because of COVID-19, so we don't really have additional money to spend on things outside our normal monthly expenses, of course. So for me, it was like, I'm not going to be able to afford $15 for a meditation program. However, she told us that you could simply email them, and if you don't have the funds, they will give you a subscription. So I've been.
So wait, you just say, I don't have money, and you can just get it for free?
Basically, you just email support@wakingup.com.
So there's not like a button you click that just says give it to me for free. You got to like reach out to them.
Yep, you just have to simply email them, but it does say like on their app, if you do not have the funds, please email us at such and such. We want to give you the ability to meditate, and we don't want that to be the reason why you can't be reaching.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's like they gave me a 1-year subscription. Fucking fantastic. So
no way.
Yeah, really, really remarkable people. So I'm only maybe 7 to 10 days into that one, which I have been enjoying, but haven't dabbled enough to give a full report on yet. I also really, really, really want to subscribe to Shine, which is sort of more of a feminine, female empowerment sort of meditation app. And I'm very inspired by the small amount that it will allow you to do for free on there. However, that is, of course, the one drawback is once you're done with the free stuff, I think
there's not that much. There's not much free stuff.
And I want to say they might even put out new free stuff once a week, but there's only like 3 short meditations. And then they've got a plethora of seemingly amazing content, because everything I listen to that is free, that I have had the option of listening to, has been amazing and expansive and inspiring. So that is one that I really do consider spending my money on when I have a bit more. However, my tried and true, as you and I have both used for several years now since we first saw them on Shark Tank, Simple Habit, I just did a meditation, and it was in the on the go, so in the free little wheel thing there. And it was, I clicked public speaking because I thought, I'm going to do a podcast, so maybe that's somewhat relevant. And I put public speaking, and then it said, I don't know if it was before a big event or just public speaking, maybe before an event. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have one on Simple Habit before an event.
Exactly.
I like how those are specific. I use Simple Habit.
They're amazing. I remember one time I had to have a difficult conversation with somebody regarding work and like a new job opportunity that I had to let them down for. And I was nervous to have the conversation. And I thought, oh God, we're about to have this conversation in 10 minutes. What can I do to prepare myself? And I had gone on at that point, and there was a meditation specifically for before a difficult conversation. It's like, oh,
Wow.
well, Jesus, thank you. And this one was extraordinary because it was, like I said, public speaking for an event or something was the title. Clicked on that. I sat down to breathe, and she basically got you, in your body and breathing and thinking about things and whatever. And she came to saying, she's like, okay, now imagine you've just won an Oscar. They've called your name to come to the stage. And I was just like, all my glory. So if you don't think I'm pumped and ready and feeling the vibes, because I got news for you. How is one to be discovered, to become an actor, to receive an Oscar, if she is not putting herself out there in the world to be discovered?
Exactly. Well, I just want to, so with the meditation app, were they trying to actually say that to make you nervous and then calm you down? Because that would be a big event.
Well, I think it was more to realize the feelings that come up in your body in such an instant. Is it excitement? Is it nerves?
So you felt that when you get, is it the same feeling that like when you get called on in school? Well, you were a bit of a schoolie, but when I got called in, there was this immediate sense of like, oh,
now you're on show,
shit.
you're on stage, everyone's expecting something.
Or even when somebody calls your name, and even in like attendance at the beginning of class in school, like there's that full body like fight or flight mode, basically. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying.
Well, she did, and she talked about in the meditation, and I think this was part of it, that you how did she say it? I've lost it. It's something about your reaction to it will come back to me. It will come back. It flew off. It will come back.
You need to meditate on it. You'll remember it.
Yeah, I need to meditate on it.
I will say though, I wouldn't say like meditation has changed my life or anything like that.
But sharp words, daggers in the meditation.
I'm sure meditation will be just fine, but I really enjoy it. I use it as like similar to what you were saying. Actually, I use it in certain circumstances, or actually, I'm trying to. It makes me think about what I'm actually thinking about. I know that sounds weird, but like if I can actually feel myself getting stressed, and I think to myself, damn, I don't know what's with me. I feel a little off. I feel a little stressed. I feel a little high strung.
Yep.
And the second I feel that, if I go just lay down in the bed, 5-minute meditation, I never do more than 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I would probably enjoy it, but like 10 minutes to me seems like, that's too much. That's too long. I don't want to do that, even though it's just 10 minutes. But 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, well, 5 minutes. I'll go lie down. And you breathe and just breathe and listen to this person in this guided meditation, right? Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it, I'll stand up and like look around, and I swear I will be completely different. The feeling of anxiety literally completely left my body.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that with you. And I know that it has a profound effect on me. I enjoy longer meditations. I'm not always ready for them. That doesn't mean I'm always clear-headed and meditating the whole time. Of course, thoughts do come up, and there are times where you're able to hone your brain in more and just focus on the breathing. And there are times that your thoughts are so scattered that doesn't matter how much they try to bring you back. It's like, oh, God damn, I just spent 10 minutes meditating, but the whole time I was fucking thinking about what I had to do over here and the dinner that I'm going to make. And then I have to go here. So they're not always minutes well spent, but I do think that it has a profound effect. And I think that I notice the difference even when you meditate and when you're really stressed out. And then you say like, all right, I'm just going to go and spend 5 minutes. And I feel like your attitude and your wherewithal and just,
Oh, I'm telling you, it's night and day. And every time it happens, I'm shocked every time. Like, I'm so surprised. Because I'm like, all right, I'll feel better after I just meditate. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. It happened again,
No, it really is.
And that's what I use it for. But I think everyone should at least try it, like I'm talking 2 5-minute sessions a week. Like we're not like, 15 minutes a day is, it's not that long. You spend this amount of time every day doing that for 15 minutes.
Right.
Don't even do 15 minutes a day. Do 5 minutes twice a week.
Well, maybe don't be their medical professional. Just allow people to dip in their toes as they please. If you want
listen to me or don't listen to me.
No. If Kelly is sort of a bit different. And I mean, there's people of all different breeds here, but you're I want to give you some props and say you're a little more level-headed. Then again,
wait. Are we recording this?
Don't want to be
you're
too
saying
quick.
Some very kind things to me.
I don't want to be too quick to praise here.
That I want to replay over and over every time you're
careful.
Every time you're we're in a fight or something.
I'll backtrack.
I can go
here.
Record. I can split this. Isolate this clip and just replay it. Oh, she's saying I
don't know.
Nice things to me.
I don't know. Maybe you had an easier life. Maybe you had less issues. Something going on in your networking is a little bit easier to solve. You're sort of you're sort of easy come, easy go, unless I spark your fire, and then shit's gonna be on and It's interesting. We'll tell the people. So Kelly's birthday, when we first met each other, it wasn't long until for some reason our birthdays came out. He, of course, is born June 3rd, 1986. And yours truly, your queen here, Queen Tizzy Money, is June 4th, 1986. Now, the first year we were dating, the months leading up to our birthday, I thought, oh my God, so cute. We're so meant to be. Our mothers share the same gestational period. What simpatico paths, partners we are and are destined to be. And I quickly learned that that's some bullshit. It's no fun to have a partner with a birthday that's near yours, same as yours, the day before yours. You've sort of taken all the steam out of my birthday sales, and it's an entire tragedy. But I do think we're similar and different in our Gemini ways, but we're definitely both fiery motherfuckers.
Stubborn, yeah.
Yeah, stubborn, and it causes a lot of fights.
Oh, definitely. I mean, most of our fights revolve around you know, I guess I'm clearly choosing my words wisely here.
Mm-hmm. As you should. I can mute this podcast or end it at any time. A gift from Zoom. We've removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. Love it. Oh, you click love it. I love it. Why was there a 40-minute thing in the first place?
So they don't do over 40 minutes for more than 2 people, and I guess when we were connecting it, we had 3 people on.
Gotcha.
When we were figuring
for the people to know, yeah, this was a long time coming today, so we might not be rearing and as ready to go as we thought. It's about 3:30. We thought we were going to get started at 1 today. Technical difficulties. Alas, here we are.
Yep. And I will say, from the producer side of it, that shit's going to happen.
Shit happens.
I know it would.
It happens. Would it be an appropriate time I'm going to do like a little tiny nose blow. Let the listeners hear that.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know.
Don't forget, we're also on YouTube here at the Tess Sullivan Show. So
absolutely, you
can actually see me blow my nose if you ever decide you want that.
Oh yeah, the people, they heard you blow your nose.
I give the people what they want.
They couldn't get enough, so they went and watched the video of it too.
Here on the Tess Sullivan Show, we give the people what they want. Let's be clear. I always give the people what they want. Conversations, 10 out of 10. Perfect conversations. It's a perfect call, as far as I'm concerned. Typical.
All right, let's not get into. I can't even think about.
Let us
sort of
not.
politics.
Well, so anyways, I did want to sort of segue into fighting with you, and fighting.
You want to?
I do. I want to hash it out.
Ooh,
Because
a live fight on the podcast. This would be great.
Well, let us pray we don't get into a fight on the podcast. That might be a little awkward and strange, or perhaps really great entertainment.
We both slam the door and run out of the room. Really, and that's how it ends.
Reality TV. No, but we have actually recently discussed, you and I, about how in previous relationships we weren't really fighters, and I don't know if this has to do with our Gemini ship or what. But I really never fought in previous relationships. I would just stay in them and stay quiet, I guess, when I was pissed off. And then around the 2 or 2.5 year mark, I just find my way the fuck out of that relationship and peace on with my bad self. Never having fought at all. Just be like, oh, we had a perfect relationship until the day it all came tumbling down. And with you,
yeah, I've had a similar experience where in past relationships, certainly, yeah, not a fighter at all. I remember thinking in a past relationship, like years and years ago, like back in college, I remember, thinking, wow, I haven't gotten in a fight in like over a year.
And do you think that fights have been the key to our successful relationship for now 4 years? My longest relationship ever.
Yeah, mine as well. Well, I don't know if fights are. I mean, it's interesting. We do fight every day, every hour, I'd say.
A lot. There's a lot of fights.
Most hours.
But I feel like we are able to express our feelings and emotions. We get past them and then we move the fuck on. I mean, we could be definitely having a fight and then like good to go in a solid 5 minutes. I'm like, you cool? I'm cool.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean,
let's also preface for the people, when I say fight, I mean a verbal argument. There are no physical fights to be had so far.
No. Yeah, just us screaming at each other.
Yeah.
And usually over something very dumb. So
really
it's like
dumb.
It's become our way of communicating with each other, really. But
you actually usually try to strike up a fight with me for like no good reason, even though we've already had one good one. And that at that point, the energy's sort of taken out of my sails. And I'm like, we already just had a good first fight of the day. Do we have to have another one already? Because I can't come back to back with two.
Yeah.
I can't do back to back fights. I can do 3 in a day for sure, 3 solid rounds, but like, don't make me go round for round. I'm not doing a 12-hour set here, sweetie.
Yeah, no, it's true. But except sometimes, it's like, I'll say, usually in a yelling way about how I feel like mad about this, and this is why. Mm-hmm. So I actually think fights are good with us because everything's out on the table. Exactly. With us, like there's no like pent up
animosity,
yeah, or something that will last multiple days or weeks or months and then eventually snap. Right. And huge like falling out fight, like you've been doing this for the past 6 months, right? And it's like no, like the first time I find you doing something I don't like, not find you doing something I don't like, but something that comes up, yeah. I basically just get it all out there immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we move on and it's better. And then there's no, I don't find myself resenting you for anything. It's known, it's out there.
Yeah.
In that respect, people should let me give more advice. You should meditate twice a week for 5 minutes.
Only twice a week, folks.
Twice a week for 5 minutes and fight as much as possible with your significant other.
Hey,
if you do that, I feel like maybe I should start like a
Dr. Kelly Ireland.
Yeah,
column.
Exactly. I mean, Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil can do it. Why can't Dr. Kelly meditate twice a day? Actually, I shouldn't give away all the secrets right away. Then you'll never want to.
Yeah, you need to get the people to pay into your program first.
Yeah, exactly.
Slow it down, Dr. Kelly Ireland.
I have
give
something
away
very
all.
interesting around
You should.
meditating and fighting, and I'll tell you more.
Ooh, when you click the link and put in
Yeah,
your
exactly.
when you put in your
So
credit card
scummy.
information for
Ah,
$9.99 for the
those.
low cost, and let's slash the price right now. Actually, it was
Oh, okay. It
originally
was
20.
$1,000,
Yep.
and now, oh man, it was 1,000, and it was worth
Mm-hmm.
it at 1,000.
It was.
Right now, it's only $4.
Oh my god! I'm putting in my credit card immediately.
Did you bump the mic? I feel like
Immediately.
there was like a. I feel like you
Boop.
dropped the mic and ran out of the room to get this.
I mean, I will.
No,
Duh.
people selling stuff like that on the internet. So,
I mean, it gets me. I'll be honest. It gets me, and then you get pissed off at me because I'm like,
oh, it makes me
but
so
this
mad.
amazing course. And the thing is I will stand. I think that you've followed some people who took you some time to figure out who they were, or if they were worth following or worth putting money into. And I will say that women who I have supported in their coursework or ebooks or whatever, some of them have been absolutely worth it, others not so much. So I do think that there are people doing great work on the internet who are charging, whether it's a premium or whatnot, for their services, for their programs, for their ebooks. There is worth in those, and there can be. And there can also be people who are just trying to make a buck off you.
No, and I mean that's everything too. Like, the things you're talking about, courses or ebooks or something you bought from people you follow on
Right.
Instagram and YouTube. But like, and some were good and some weren't. But that's the same thing if you're going to buy a product on Amazon or going to Walmart and getting the product, or Target. Some things you buy are great, some aren't. It's like that is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You
It's not
never
that big of
know.
a
You
deal.
never know. Just don't put your whole life savings into it. Then you won't regret it immensely if it doesn't pan out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, why don't I first? I'd like to talk a little bit about um, how we met, when we met, and what was going on when we met.
Sure.
So, we
Sure.
basically met. I essentially sort of got hired to replace Kelly at this bar restaurant called Fishbones in Chelmsford, Mass. I got hired within the first couple weeks of me working there was someone named Kelly on like the Facebook boards continuously begging for shifts. Oh, can I
It's
get
me.
someone shift?
That's me.
And I thought it was a girl because all I saw was the name Kelly, and I thought, oh, this girl just like keeps pining after my shifts. I just started here. I'm not responding. What is this person? And then a few weeks in, you finally got somebody to give you their shift, and we met, and I was like, oh, male Kelly. Hello. And so anyways, we hit it off. It was not long before I sat next to you to enjoy a salad for lunch, and I quickly quipped, is this our first date? And you said to me,
Oh,
and you
I'm gonna say it.
and you said to me,
I believe I said no, but our first date could be Saturday if you wanna go out on a date.
for sushi with me.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you said, no, I was hoping it would be this Saturday. And I was like, oh my God, he took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. I reeled him in. I reeled him in.
No. I'm
And
just
I
now
did.
finding this out.
Oh, I won for
So
sure.
the last 4 years are off.
It was all part of my tactics. Ha 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 ha.
I feel manipulated.
You can't get rid of me now. You wouldn't dare.
You would find me.
'Cause I'll find you. So in any case, we went out to dinner, and the rest is sort of history. However, we started dating in the beginning of March, and he was set to move to Australia for a year beginning of June. So we had all of 3 months together. I thought I would learn to live and let go and then set you on your way. And that is basically what was going on up until like the day before you left, and I had to like really nail it and lock it down and be like, what the fuck's going on with us? At
Yeah,
which
no.
point,
It was tough because, before I met you, um, me and my friend Josh, both of us weren't dating anyone at the time, and we just worked in restaurants for so long, and we just basically had to get away. We always wanted to travel. We were 28,
9. No.
29. Well, we must have just been turning
Well,
29.
he's a year younger than us, isn't he?
Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were, almost 30, and we would do stuff on a whim all the time. We do crazy stuff, and we had never really traveled. And we're like, you know what? Let's just go somewhere for like a month or for a summer. Let's go somewhere this summer.
Oh, that's
Maybe
right. I remember you
maybe
guys were
maybe we'll
gonna
go
go to
to
like Nantucket or
yeah,
something.
maybe we'll go to Nantucket, and like we know that they in restaurants they staff up during the summer, and a lot of people do that. They go there, they
Oh
make
yeah.
bank during the summer, and then they leave. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be so fun. We'll room together, we'll get a place, and then we're like, yeah, let's do that. And then like next shift we work together. We're like, you know what, like let's go like even larger than that. Like let's go for like 3 or 4 months somewhere. Like even let's go to I don't know, let's go to like Florida or Texas or California for like 3 or 4 months. And we're like, yeah, man, well, why not? We're both single, like we can work in restaurants anywhere we go.
Yep.
And then we're like, yeah. And then the next shift we work together, we're like, you know what, man, like screw it. Let's go international. Let's go to a different country for like 6 months or a year. Like, let's just do it. And then we're both like, yeah, why wouldn't we? Like, let's do it. And
Hell
then,
yeah.
and then the next time we got together, we're like, all right, I was serious about that. And he's like, yeah, I was serious about that too. And I'm like, all right, let's just book it. Where do you want to go? And we had, we were making decent money at this restaurant. So we had, the money to choose where we wanted to go. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're still super frugal. So we knew how to get cheap flights and how to travel on the cheap. So once you're willing to, have layovers at certain places and have a long travel day, if the price is cheap, when you're willing to do that, you can basically go anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly cheap. So we were, looking up flights at all these places, and yeah, I don't know. One of us said Europe, one of us said Australia, and we're like, dude, let's go to Australia. And we booked a one-way ticket to Melbourne, Australia. And that was, I guess, a couple months before I met you. And then I met you, and I'm like, uh, you know, it'll be fun to hang out and stuff, but like, I'm leaving for a year. Like, that's not, I'm not going somewhere for like a month or two, which even a month or two would be like, even if I went somewhere for a full summer, that
Mm-hmm.
would be sort of hard to keep a new relationship,
For sure.
you know? But instead I'm like, I'm going for a year. So even, even when we first started dating, like I had, I didn't think we could possibly make it work.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I don't know. I didn't know. And then, yeah, we just started hanging out more and more and more. And, and I'm like, God damn it. What did I get myself into?
Best
What
girl
am
in the
I?
world
Yeah.
status. Best girl in the world
Yeah.
comes moments before I'm set to leave the country.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it worked out. So it definitely wasn't bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
But even after, enjoying our time so much, I'm like, I'm still going,
Yeah, of course.
you know,
And I
which,
never
which was a
asked you
debate.
not to go.
No. Well, no. And, I wouldn't have,
You wouldn't know
I
what. Do you
wouldn't have,
want to break up right now on this motherfucker? Is that what you want to do? You would
no, I'm
what
saying,
I felt like something was cutting out for a moment there because it
oh
seemed
yeah,
like you were
must have
saying
been,
you
yeah, you know what,
wouldn't
as the producer here, it must have been something messed up with the audio.
something got messed
Yeah.
up with the audio. It sounded like you said you wouldn't, but what were you trying to say?
Yeah.
Let's
What else? We could talk about something else. You want to talk about something else?
You little motherfucker. Let me tell the story as I recall it. First of all, Cry, baby, cry, baby. Oh, baby, baby, cry, 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 cry. I'm consoling this guy as he cries to me day in and day out, leaving me. And I said, well,
Me?
where do we stand? Should I go get my ass eaten by somebody else tomorrow or... and he was like, no, I'm in love with you. He fails to remember this bit of information.
I remember that.
Oh, he remembers now. He thought he wasn't in love. He said, oh, I could have left you and loved you and never loved you again. And goodbye, bye, bye, girl, bye, baby.
No.
Changing his tune now. Ooh, how the tides have turned.
Are we recording this?
I see a red. Yeah, pretty sure we're recording. So as I remember it, you asked me in like the 2 days leading up to your departure if I would consider coming with you.
Yep, I remember that.
To which I responded, I'm not sure I can do that. I've resigned to being a cat mother. I've got 2 beautiful babies, the most gorgeous gatos in the whole entire world. However, then my brother quickly said to me, I will take care of your cats. You've wanted to travel again for a long time, Tess. Do not let this opportunity slip you by. Fucking go and travel the world like you've been wanting to.
Nice. Good advice.
Exactly. And so I said, Kelly, go. It was right in June, right after our birthdays. We went away for our 30th birthday to Rye, New Hampshire, got an Airbnb, had a beautiful weekend there. I recall getting really good day drunk for our 30th and then falling asleep in the bath. Anyways, we won't get into that. Not like super. I mean, I resurrected and then I rallied and went out for like the nightcap, but I definitely had like a midday bath of like, I don't know, this may be it for me. But after that weekend and a couple days later, you set sail for your journey. I said, give me 6 months. I saved up $25,000 in 6 months. Flew out the first week of December to Melbourne, my first time to Australia, which is a place that, I'll be honest, it was not high on my list. It was only on my list because I'd been to 5 continents at that point. And I was like, all right, well, gotta sort of, 5? 4. I hadn't been to Europe yet. So I'd been to 4 continents because I haven't been to Antarctica. So I guess 4, but Australia would have been my 5th. So it was sort of a continent and it needed to knock off my list. However, I falsely, let me very much preface this with falsely, thought that Australia was just like an America 2.0. And I was like, well, why would you go there? There's no cultural difference, except I realized it's like dream America. It's like the America we wish we could be. It's just better America. So it should be like America 1.0. Yeah. It's all the things America wants to be and tries to be, except it's not. And Australia is in fact way fucking cooler, way better, cares about their people, cares about the environment, cares about nature, cares about delicious fucking food and like doing the right thing and having gun control.
The Aussie
and like
brekkies.
Oh my God, forget about it, love. Don't get me going about an Aussie brekkie, love. Oh, take me out to fucking brunch, you know what I'm saying?
$22 breakfast, but
I mean, the place is expensive. Everything is expensive as all hell. You can't go out drinking. Forget about getting drunk for your 30th, sweetie. Nice try. You better buy a bottle of liquor and stay the fuck home because a cocktail is $22 in Australia. Ain't gonna happen unless you find yourself a friend who works in a business and get down to Fertility Fresh and get yourself a happy hour espresso martinis on the half, double half off. And then you get yourself like a $5 drink, and that shit is my shit.
Very fond memories of going to Fertility Fresh, which is
so fun.
It's basically like a
high-end,
high-end Italian place.
Yeah,
but not like pasta, but like beautiful, but like pizza and like Italian cocktails and stuff.
Aperitifs, beautiful fucking leathers and just like dripping in deep emerald colors and brass features. Very
Oh, it's so beautiful to be in
Oh,
there.
that place was gorgeous.
And just preface this by saying, we were traveling on the cheap.
Oh.
We didn't like you saved up a lot of money, but we couldn't afford to just be dropping $20 on a
No
cocktail
fucking way. If
and
we were
having,
spending
because we're doing 4 cocktails.
the
Like we're
amount,
talking $160 for 4 cocktails
Kelly,
each.
we ended up backpacking for like close to 6 or 7 months. And if we had been in Australia for that entire time, I spent like 6 weeks in Australia before we left. But if we had stayed in Australia for the whole time, I think our money would have lasted us 3 months. I would say 3
Probably.
months we could have stayed in Australia and then
But we
gone
would
home.
have got jobs. If we
Yeah.
stayed in Australia, we would have got jobs.
For
So it would
sure.
have been a bit different.
For sure. And we would have needed to.
But for Tilly Fresh, so we're in this, high-end Italian place. I think the cocktail, I think the Negronis, which
Yep.
I hadn't really drank before that.
No, me
and
neither.
now
Those were my first Negronis. Ooh.
I have a very fondness. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I love Negronis now. I'll get them out.
You're fond of a Negrone, a good Negrone.
And they had Negronis on draft. And
that's right.
I think they were $18, I think.
Somewhere around 20. All cocktails were 20 to $26.
But they had happy hour, and Negronis were $8 from 2 to 4 or whatever. I forget the exact hours. So in the middle of the day, they were $8. So we're like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But Josh, my friend who I went with,
right?
He worked for one of the restaurants in the restaurant group of Tilly Fresh. So he actually worked for a place
he had the hookup.
I think he worked for it was like a
group.
high-end Japanese. Like they sold sushi, and he made these crazy cool cocktails
elaborate.
with sake and all these crazy syrups. And so he was doing his thing, but they were part of the same restaurant group as Tilly Fresh.
Right.
So he could go to any of the same restaurants and show his proof that he works at this restaurant, and he would get half off across the board.
Amazing.
So we would go during happy hour for $8 Negronis, and then he would get half off. So we're drinking $4 Negronis, and let me tell you, we just said keep them coming because even a liquor store, everything was so expensive.
It was very expensive.
Like a bottle of bottle of vodka is like $60.
Oh, whatever it was expensive for damn sure.
So like we weren't just drinking like cheap as far as going out. We were drinking cheap like across the board. We were drinking cheaper there than going to the liquor store and make our own drinks.
Now let me say, if I could, because we've talked a lot about alcohol now, and I'm actually not a big drinker at all. This is a funny story. I'm much more of a stoner, Tizzy a weed head, which it took me a long time for all things. I was definitely Tess is high on life, always, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do any of those things until I was about 23. And then I tried my hand at some marijuana, and one thing led to another, and it's been an extraordinary 10 years since then. But we didn't really have access to much marijuana while we were in Australia because we didn't necessarily have friends there. Josh worked in the restaurant industry, so we sort of had a small connection through him. So I remember when I first got there, we got a little bit of weed, and like we rolled up a couple of spliffs of like half tobacco, half weed, and like we smoked those for a couple of days, all the way leading up to Christmas. Do you recall this?
Yes. On the beach.
Oh, bad moment. Not shining bright moment of my life.
Not your best.
But no. I have I don't know. I have something ingrained in me that like someone's always going to be stealing my stuff, and I'm always protective of my stuff. Everywhere Kelly and I have ever traveled to, if he's watching our bags while I like run to the bathroom or go grab us a snack or whatever it may be, the first thing I say to him before I walk away is,
Make sure somebody doesn't steal our shit.
Make sure nobody steals our shit, like all the time. I'm just constantly, I don't know, someday when I luckily, hopefully will get into therapy, I long for the day of having money so I can have a therapist. They will teach me my ways and things that I've been brought up and then fucked up with. But one of which is being stolen from. I always think I'm going to be stolen from. And we went to Half Moon Beach off Melbourne, wherever, epic beach for Christmas. We had espresso martinis in the morning. It was like 104 degrees. And obviously for people from New England, typically we're used to being in snow and having a white Christmas and being cold and freezing in the middle of winter. And that was my first year I'd ever been in a very different place for Christmas. And it was indeed 104 degrees. Beautiful. We started with espresso martinis. We made a sangria bag, put that in a box wine bag, took that to the beach with us. We were having the best day, like kept our bags on the beach while we were frolicking. I had bought Kelly a GoPro for Christmas. So like we were practicing with the GoPro and like floating around on our friend Josh's big fucking pillow sack thing in the water, just having a blast. Do you remember his wig that he wore that day?
Yeah, he wore
a
black wig, like he has short hair, but he had like
he had this long,
like a rock star,
shoulder length, black, wacky wig on. And it was amazing because Josh is an extraordinarily handsome individual. And he has this crazy wig on and we're all just having fun. But do you remember like those Aussies who came out?
Yeah.
But bro, like we don't really understand the wig. They're just like, are you going to take it off? And he's like, no. And they're like, but is it, do you like it?
Do you think you look good in the wig?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm wearing a wig.
Really, just having a good time.
I'm just wearing a wig today. It's Christmas. I'm on the beach. I'm wearing a wig.
Exactly. It is what it is. Stop questioning.
He had a wig on.
Questioning me.
I immediately wanted a wig, obviously.
I know. What's one wig? Do we all want a wig? A wig, a jig, a lig, ooh. So anyway, we had this amazing, extraordinary day on the beach where we left our bags on the sand, as you do when you're at the beach, and just had a great, epic day. Of course, my wallet and things were inside of my bag. Whatever, had a great day frolicking. By the evening portion, we had sort of like moved over and found this awesome little crescent area. We were like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do for the night. Because we were like, I remember we went there midday and we were like, we're going to stay here until tomorrow morning. We're going to stay all night. Just bring supplies, bring a blanket, whatever. So we sort of, as people left the beach for like after sunset, we migrated, found our own little area. We set up little fairy twinkling battery lights. I had my iPod playing Bob Marley. We ended up making friends with these extraordinary people who were amazing and happened to be my little puzzle piece to marijuana. And they were just fucking gracious and wonderful. And I was like, Merry Christmas to me. We made friends with some stoners and they're smoking us up. And they were just extraordinary people who we danced and played and sang and had an amazing Christmas with on the beach, making friends with these Australians. And then by the end of the night, or maybe like 3:00 in the morning when they were leaving, I was like, wait, like before you leave, like could I buy some weed off you? Like, we don't have any, I don't have a connection. You've got a bunch. Can I please pay you? And he was like, no. Just let me give you some. And he like put some in my hand. He's like, it's for you. We're friends. Please take it. And I'm like, no. I'm insisting to this man. I'm like, no, I insist, let me pay you. He's like, no, like they were already leaving. There was no reason for me to even be going out of my way to find my wallet in my bag at that point while I had been smoking and drinking and having a blast and frolicking in the sun all day. But I was so concerned with giving him money for what he had gifted me that I went searching in my backpack and of course couldn't find my wallet, proceeded to pull a full fucking tizzy, a full tizzy.
That's why it's named that. They
stole my stuff. My wallet's stolen, and I went berserk. It was not a cool moment for me. Everyone definitely thought I was a psychopath. I think the friends we'd made had now evacuated the beach, and he was just sort of like, I never wanted your money in the first place. I'm sorry now that your wallet's stolen, but like, we're out of here, and like, you're a bit fucking crazy, bitch. Of course, after searching further, I found my wallet, so that was even more embarrassing for me. But my fears lied in, I basically had this one Charles Schwab checking account that I worked really hard to get. Oh God, that's a whole nother story that I worked really hard to get before our trip that would reimburse all of my foreign transaction fees and bank account fees while we were gone.
Yeah,
and
that card was awesome.
It was of the utmost importance to me. And when I thought at the first leg of my trip, a couple weeks into being in Australia, my fucking wallet was already missing. I was a bit distraught, but it was not a proud moment. It was not a cool moment. I was a psychopath.
Yeah, no, you don't. That was not your finest moment.
That was most certainly not my finest moment.
No, but yeah, that card really came in handy though. So if anyone's,
oh my God, yes,
if anyone's traveling abroad
for an extensive period of time or whatever,
you can't just use your, like Bank of America debit card. They'll charge you every single time you use it. It's like $3,
and it's fees like on both ends. It's like they give you a fee, and then you're paying a foreign fee for whatever the transaction is. So there's
you just can't use it.
No, I had done a lot of research prior to our trip, and I had found that this was absolutely the best thing. It would reimburse. It won't, like if you used it like a credit card for breakfast, say, it's not going to reimburse the minimal fee that would charge you. But if you use it as sort of a bank ATM card and take out cash, which is what I did for everywhere we would go to, take a little bit of cash and take as much cash or as little cash as you want to, because it's going to charge you at the bank. But Charles Schwab at the end of each pay period month will reimburse all of the fees. So at the end of the month, I would end up getting like $60 back and just like thrown back in my account. And honestly, at the end of throughout most of our backpacking trip, I would have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in fees. And because of Charles Schwab, I avoided that. So a word to the traveling wise.
It was worth it for sure.
We'll tell another tale of what happened with that card and on a trip more in depth, perhaps on another episode. But basically, Kelly and I were very fortunate in the beginning of our relationship to travel extensively and long into a lot of amazing countries. Not limited to Australia, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. We spent our last couple months in India. Let's see, what did you perhaps learn from traveling with your girlfriend in such close quarters for a long time? What was your favorite place? Tell us about it.
Oh man. Well, our entire trip, so how many months do we date before I left?
3. And then we had a long distance relationship for 6 months.
For 6 months. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, 3 months of knowing somebody, and then talking to them for 6 months, but not
seeing them,
hanging out and seeing them in a normal relationship environment.
Right.
I'm always super honest with you. So and it was funny to say, but I kept saying the whole trip was a trial.
Yeah. You said I was on trial up until last week, I'm pretty sure. my trial just got re-upped again. Oh, it was on our 4-year anniversary. You took me off trial. Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure by later that day, you put me back on trial. Something I ate or something. He's like, I don't know. You might be back on trial.
But, our traveling together, even you can admit it
it
was a trial.
There were times I thought.
Yeah. Oh.
What's fair is fair. You already offed me once in this podcast. You try to bring up me, so
that's fair. That's
now we're even.
This is what happens when
we're even.
You have your boyfriend on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't. So it was. I didn't really know what to expect, and I had never really traveled.
Right.
I had went to Ireland once, and to St. John, laying on a beach, but
right.
We were. I was.
We were
doing some shit,
backpacking,
and
for real shit.
To give people context too, we we were doing this on the as cheap as possible, like especially towards the end, like when we
For sure.
were in India, we were living so like certain lower income countries, like all the places we went, Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, India, people always say, you can live like a king out there. It's
Right.
everything's so much cheaper.
Right.
And it absolutely is so much cheaper.
For sure.
And they're right. But we were so broke, but we just
Right.
didn't care.
Yeah.
Like we were
We
living
lived like a local lived.
we were living
spend.
we were living much cheaper than it when I was in India. I was living way cheaper than a local Indian.
Yeah.
I was living on I mean basically well, not including uh rent for like our nightly. How much was I paying for rent at the
For the
ashram?
ashram, I don't know. You have receipts of when I think you seriously spent like 1,200 rupees for like a week.
No, it was more than that,
I
but
don't remember. It's been a while now.
so 60 rupee is $1, and
Right.
food,
Or it
like
was when we were there.
costs wise, like what I was like spending money wise, um, I was absolutely living on $1 a day.
Oh,
I was
you
spending
were
60 rupee. I would get I'd get a 10 rupee banana from the banana dude, or maybe two bananas for 10 rupee. I
right.
go down to the little corner shop and get some cookies. They
Oh,
had delicious
such good cookies.
cookies and crackers. I get for I bet 10, maybe another 10,
Yep.
maybe 2 packs of 5. So basically there I'm at what, 20 rupee. So that's about 30 cents I've spent on a couple bananas and some cookies and crackers. And then I spend the bulk of it on honey and peanut butter.
Yep. You're
Um,
big. And Coke. Oh, excuse me. I think coconut oil. You were doing a lot of coconut oil at that time too.
oh yeah, I was getting into coconut oil, so I was taking sips of that throughout the day, and
That's
then
actually really
basically
good.
peanut butter and banana.
We need to bring that back. We should both be eating like a tablespoon of coconut oil a day or something like that. And oil pulling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the pulling.
And pulling that shit through your teeth
Yeah,
and
improve your
cleaning your
teeth.
motherfucking mouth up.
But basically, yeah, I was living way cheaper than people in India. Like people in India were going out to their restaurants and getting a sandwich for 260 rupee. They were buying things for 100 rupee,
For sure.
500
No,
rupee.
I think it
I
is.
I was 60 rupee a day.
I think a lot of people do misjudge. And like, I remember when I was on that trip again and people would reach out and they're like, when are you going to be home? And I was like, I'll be home by summer. And like, I'm saying this in December. And they're like, the fuck do you mean you'll be home by summer? Like, what? You've already been like midway through, like, you've been gone for months. I'm like, I'll be home in 4 months. And they're like, what's going on? But like, it is important to know and tell people like, yeah, we weren't living large. It wasn't easy breezy. And it wasn't even, yeah, sure, it was a vacation and it was remarkable because other than quarantine and COVID, there's not too many times in life that you don't work for a month or months on end. And like, I remember how refreshing that was initially when I got to Australia. And like, for the first few weeks, like waking up and like each day, like, sort of remembering where you are, like you're halfway around the world or you're the furthest point from home you can be. And you're like, oh my God, I'm like, I don't have a job and I'm not going to work and I'm not going to work any fucking time soon. So in that regard, it was really freeing and refreshing. But also, like you were using your brain to go over different problems. Like we moved every 3 days. Where are we going? How are we getting from point A to point B? What bus to what train to what plane
Oh
to
my
like
god.
what's gonna
Reading
get us?
reviews of Airbnbs and
So
having
yeah,
disaster Airbnbs.
and living on a very tight budget so that we could afford to stay as long as we wanted away and continue to explore the world as we did. But it was not by any means, a 5-star resort. We're fucking making our way around the
No,
world.
no.
Fabulous time,
And
which we hope to one day. And having
oh yeah,
since been home from our trip, and then the following year we went to my best friend's wedding. I was her bridesmaid in Greece, and we spent 3 weeks in Greece, which was one of the most extraordinary trips of our lives. I think we both agree. I look forward to many more trips like that, and European trips, and a bit more first world countries, because I have had some digestive issues ever since our trip to India that I haven't quite found my way out of yet. So I do look forward to some European travels in my near future. Hopefully.
yeah,
So,
for sure. Just real quick though, like just to give people, like we were doing it on the cheap, um, traveling after I did it to that extent, to me is just I realized how attainable it is, you know?
oh, for sure.
Well, first of all, I had a sense of like when I got back, I'm like,
I could do
if I
anything.
can just, yeah, I really felt that. I really felt I could do anything.
Right.
And that's translated in other parts of my life that's been like extremely liberating.
Yeah.
Because like we decided to do it. We did it, and it was way cheaper than you'd think. It's way more attainable. Like if you asked me before I was looking at flights to these places, how much it would cost, I had no idea so much that I would probably say like, how much is it to fly to Australia? I probably would have guessed like, because I didn't know, I would have said maybe like, I don't know, like 3,000, maybe like 5,000. You know, it's so far away.
Yep.
It's literally in the other side of the world. I would have said, you know, maybe $3,000 or $5,000, $800 to get to Australia.
Right. I paid a
Um,
bit more than you, but no, and I
yeah,
think that quite honestly, flights are generally, depending upon where you're going, the absolute most expensive part of your travel. So my recommendation is always, if you can afford the flight to said destination far from where you live, um, stay as long as you possibly can stay once you get there, because usually
exactly.
to a place like India, it's going to be a whole lot to get you there and back. That's the bulk of what you're spending. Where you stay is going to be minimal. The things you eat are minimal. So you'll be able to afford a longer stay once you're there. But yeah, the biggest out of pocket expense is going to be your flight. But travel is so much more accessible than I think a lot of people imagine it to be. And I think it's really important to share that message with people, because traveling has expanded my life and my world immensely. And I think, yes, it can be costly, but I think that we shouldn't have it on such a pedestal as we do. And if you're in the mindset right now of like, I can't travel, I'll never be able to afford to travel, try to break yourself out of that, because you can, by even just saving like a measly amount per day, per week, whatever it is that you could possibly throw into a jar. And I was literally saving money in a box in my closet, just so like it was there and I wasn't spending it. It wasn't even in my bank account with the rest of my money. But it is tangible, and you can make it happen, and it's not as expensive as you think it is. And there are accommodations at every level, especially with the creation of Airbnb, which is what we did a lot of on our trip. And it's so much less expensive than so many hotels. Like, I think if we had tried to do that in the day and age of hotels and just hostels, and of course we stayed in hostels along the way, but if it were just hotels, and we wouldn't have been able to afford
Yeah,
to
no,
stay
it's
as
true.
long as we did.
And I mean, just it's given the coronavirus, it's not the best time to talk about travel advice or whatever. But
True.
for some actual like things that you can, whoever's listening or watching this, some actionable things. I hadn't known about a website called Skyscanner.
Mm-hmm. Great site.
Skyscanner.com is
Great
the
site.
best, and I'll
Did I
explain
teach you about
why.
Skyscanner?
Probably.
I think I
Probably.
taught you about Skyscanner.
And here's why it's so good is because you can go into Skyscanner, you can choose a normal website will say, all right, where are you flying out of, where are you flying into? You
Mm-hmm.
put it in, like whatever normal flight website. But Skyscanner allows you to put in where you're flying out of. So I would choose Logan Airport in Boston, and then as far as you choosing where you're going, you can actually choose anywhere. So, and then what it does is you click, oh, and for when you're flying, you can click whenever's cheapest. So you can click from Logan Airport going to wherever's cheapest. When is whenever's cheapest. So you click it and you just look at the results. So there's, you click the button, it says, oh, well, actually, if you want to go to Iceland from Boston, round trip, 2 months and 3 days from now on this exact flight is X amount of dollars.
Right.
And like, so they're finding you the cheapest place to go to and the cheapest time to get there. And
Friends, could I pause you? Could I pause you for one moment in case you haven't noticed? I keep looking off screen because our cat. Hold on one moment. Our cat is. Oh, he's found his way out the door on his own. Actually, he was trying to get out the door. He got up from his nap. He's done with the fucking podcast. He's done with listening to his mother speak now. But he's found his way out the door himself. Funny. I was gonna scoop him up real quick to show him to the people of the YouTubes, but he has since left the room. So my apologies upon the interruption.
No worries. So yeah, basically when you add in it finding whatever location is the cheapest and what time to travel to that location is the cheapest.
Yep.
Like you get flights that are like I remember one time I looked up it was like Boston to Iceland, which isn't the farthest thing, but it's still
right.
It's
I heard still an international travel to an extraordinary country
for sure. We're talking round trip for like $250.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's $250. It's crazy.
Even our trip to Greece, like we went to Greece for a solid 3 weeks. I think maybe a little over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I want to say our flights were around $600 round trip. But how much did we spend while we were there? And this is Greece, like an extraordinary travel destination, an otherworldly travel destination that should be on everyone's list if it isn't. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the world. And we didn't spend much money there. Even travel in Greece was quite accessible. And
no, yeah. The Airbnbs were what, like
$35 or something
$35 a night?
And to stay at like nice
islands,
stay at nice places. Like we were not roughing it the way we were on our long backpacking trip. We were staying in really, really nice, very comfortable places.
Yeah, but we're saying at the same time, we're saying really nice places, $35.
For $35.
So we're not saying like, we were living all fancy. And
can you imagine if you actually paid, like in the United States, you're going to spend $120 on the shittiest motherfucking motel. For Christmas, we tried to stay in a motel beside your family's house.
Yeah.
What was it? $130, $140 for a fucking terrible motel in Pennsylvania, like a shit ass motel.
Yeah. Well, it could be around Christmas too, but yeah,
that could have been.
That must.
But truly, in the United States, if you're staying at a hotel, because we stayed at hotels in Greece, you don't pay under $110. There's like not a chance you're getting a hotel for $110 or less.
No,
am I right?
Crazy.
Am I losing my mind here? So no, I mean, if we actually spent like American money, like, we both like $100 was 3 times what we were spending. We would have been like lavish laps of luxury. So anyway, we've been very lucky to travel an extensive amount together. Where is your post-COVID quarantine next desired destination?
Ooh,
it can be domestic. It can be international. Where do you dream of going? What's on your list for next or in the near future?
Oh man. Well, I haven't seen a lot of Europe, so I would definitely say Europe. And I know there's definitely like beautiful countries you can do on the cheap too.
Mm-hmm.
And to take like a train between countries.
Portugal.
Oh yeah, Portugal.
The Azores.
Yeah.
I hear are still incredibly inexpensive
but domestically too, I would say New Orleans, Texas, Northern California.
All my exes live in Texas. Like I'm George Strait though.
Oh shit.
Now that's a Drake
Shit.
lyric. Oh, shit. I guess we can't go to Texas.
Yeah, we'll pass on Texas.
Shit.
I don't want you to run into
all
your
my
exes.
exes. It might get a little uncomfortable. That state's kind of small.
But I will. What about what's that road in Northern California that's supposed to be so beautiful?
Oh my God, not the Pacific Coast Highway. That's where I lived. But yeah, I think that might travel all the way.
Yeah.
That might go all the way up the
I'd
Pacific
love to take
Coast.
a drive.
Oh my God, through what's that area where Big Little Lies was filmed? Monterey Bay, and that epic Big Sur, we gotta go. I feel like Monterey Bay, Big Sur, that whole area of Northern California is to the Great Ocean Road in Melbourne. They're like same, you know?
Yeah,
coastal epic drive of your life, which again, we didn't talk about that, but hey, everybody, if you ever go to Australia, don't miss out on the opportunity to drive the Great Ocean Road. It's perhaps the best 12 hours of your goddamn life.
I mean, Australia's big, but Melbourne specifically, it's
no, but I don't care. If you're in Australia, you better fucking drive. Like, you're all the way over there.
Point.
You're all the way over there. Fly the fuck over to Melbourne and take the 12-hour trip.
Yeah, it is worth it.
And pro tip, because we did not do this, we were stupid fucks who looked at the map and thought it was drivable. We accidentally paid a one-way rental fee, drove all the way from Melbourne, all the way, long past the Great Ocean Road, all the way to Adelaide, which was like a whole nother Great Ocean Road. So per our recommendation as seasoned travelers who have done it before, go to Melbourne, get a regular car, drive it the whole Great Ocean Road, spend a night or two on the Great Ocean Road, and then track it straight back up and do it all over again, because it's so beautiful. You'll have missed half of the stuff you were going to see anyway, and you could, honest to God, I think I could spend 2 weeks of my life just driving those 12.
And I'd also say a lot of people that I saw were doing
one-day trips,
bus tours. Yeah, like you rent a car if you can't afford it. There are so many travelers. You can find some real cool people that will just be so happy because renting a car wasn't,
it was expensive,
cheap, but that was one of the biggest things we did was rent that car.
And we messed up and we paid the one-way fee. I will never regret it. It's one of the most
going up and down that road was so beautiful.
It's one of my favorite roads I've ever driven on. And I am a lover of driving in cars with music and beautiful things to see. So sign me up every day.
Yeah, as long as you're not driving.
Oh, honey, I don't mean physically driving. I mean passengering.
Honey.
Sitting in the when I say driving, you thought I meant driving? Oh, darling, I'm a passenger. I'm but a passenger. We know
honey,
this.
Sweetie.
Oh, honey, sweetie, baby, sugar pie. I'm but a passenger. Don't you know? Oh, excuse me, not for nothing. I did drive. I drove for about 2 hours in the night to alleviate you. And you couldn't even fall asleep because you were so in a tizzy about me driving on the left side of the road on the right side of the car.
Yeah, it's scary.
I tried to help you. You didn't accept my help.
You did indeed.
Moving onward. Do you have a favorite food from around the world that you've eaten that you long for?
Oh, damn. Well, one that I did like.
You could also roll this into and it doesn't have to be because it sounds like you had an answer anyway, but like maybe something you're missing in quarantine that you do look forward to having when we get out. But that could be a separate question.
Yeah. One of travels, breakfast in Australia was unbelievable. The pride they take in making their breakfast. Oh my God,
the most beautiful,
like these avocados and quinoa and fresh spinach and a perfectly cooked egg.
Oh, like each edible flowers on top, just every detail. So many colors.
This is at any place.
Oh yeah. Right.
Like every corner cafe has the best breakfast in the world.
Oh my God, I miss it. I can't wait to go back to Australia and be rich when we go. Make us rich, podcast listeners. Make us rich so we can go more places and tell you about them through the podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Please, love Tess. You can find me on
what else?
Patreon at. No, just kidding. We're not on Patreon.
Just listen and enjoy.
Just listen and enjoy, and we'll hope the money will come someday.
So yeah, this is our yeah, you were saying that you hadn't done a podcast in a while, but as far as the people listening, this is going to be part of your first couple episodes that launch together.
In Quaros Boros.
Yeah. So this is episode 2, right?
Epidos, baby.
Episode 2.
Epidos, bebitos.
And yeah, I mean, it took us a while to get started, but it's not as if you posted one and then
that's
waited
true.
A month to post. Like we're gonna.
I waited them with them in the
we waited
incubator,
before we launched. Yeah,
which was smart. We hope.
Yep, for sure.
And now I'm giving the people what they want, when they want it, if they want it, and how they want it. You want it sunny side up? You want it down and dirty? Because I'm feeling flirty. I'm feeling 30. I just took 3 years off my life. Make me your wife. I'm young. I'm supple. I'm ready to rumble. How about that? How about that? How about that? How about that? Meet me outside. Cash me outside. All right. Settle the fuck down. Wait, this just in. Settle the fuck down, Tess. Great. Let's see. I have one more question, and then I have a little bit of a rapid fire round before we say goodbye and close up on the podcast today. Are you cool?
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Any recommendations in this Quoro world of TV, podcasts, books, anything that you have been taking in that's been beneficial to you that you feel other people deserve to know about?
Yeah. I'm actually gonna take a slightly different angle on answering that question, if that's all right.
Sure, let's do.
I think shows, movies, books, I think now is the time to make movies, shows, books, podcasts. This is such a good time for people to just take a deep breath, realize that thing you had been wanting to do. Think how many of those things that you could.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, with the exception of like a movie, but podcast, YouTube, writing more, starting that blog you've always wanted to, or had been meaning to, or already wrote the first 3 blogs, just never posted.
For sure.
Like now is the time. We all got a check. We all got.
Darling, don't bring the politics into it.
We all got a pause.
Oh, well, right. Because I thought, motherfucker, I haven't gotten a check. Don't be saying my government's working for me, because not all of us have gotten the check, love. Just because somebody got the check on the other end of this camera doesn't mean we all got the fucking check, all right? So just choose your words wisely, love.
Oh, sorry. I'll try to get my words a little better.
I'm a little sensitive when it comes to checks right now. I haven't seen a check in a long time. You understand?
Oh, I know. Yeah, we've been out of work for a while. But use this. What I meant to say was a pause.
Okay.
Everyone, things get put on the wayside due to, busy schedules, going to work, somebody at work, is being an asshole. You got to stress about that. You don't have time to think about this thing you want to do that makes you happy, that you actually enjoy doing.
Right.
And we all got you can look at this 2 ways, that, we're all screwed and everything sucks and everything's going to hell and everyone's dying. Or you can look at this as like, listen, I'm in with my family. We're safe. You can do other things to help people in your community, but like, look inward to you and your family during this time. You can be producing stuff. You can be, starting these things, as we are with this podcast and with our other podcast. And maybe when we get out of this Quoro's world, back to quote unquote, normal life, we can actually realize that not only did we start, but we're starting to gain some traction on these, whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to start a YouTube channel or a podcast or, start writing that book. And you can do so much from your home now with all this technology. I mean, it's crazy. What do you got there? What do you got there?
I wanted to show our viewers cutest cat in the world. Hey, Mr. Tux. Anyways, he's not happy about how I've scooped him up and he's stuck in the cords and things here. He was actually giving me tons of love. He was like kneading and weaving through my feet. I think the message he's sending me is it that time of day yet where you feed me my wet food, Mom? It feels like the sun could be going down, but it's too gray out to really know. So maybe I'll just dance amongst your legs and see if you'll feed me.
Yeah, but just to sum that up though, like now is the time to to think about what is going to make you happy, and get that chance to start producing some content, making things, be creative. And we can all look to this time and realize how this was actually extremely beneficial in a lot of people's lives. They started good stuff. I think in a few years you're going to hear, I didn't do this, but during the quarantine time, I was able to, pull together, with the extra time I have, pull together and create something amazing that affected my life for the positive. So
absolutely. I think that's really great advice. Maybe we need to turn off our TVs a little bit more and not take in so much and instead create and put things out in the world. Because I think we take in a whole lot and it's definitely worthwhile to output as well and put yourself out in the world. That, to harp on to what you were saying, one of my college professors always said that, and I thought that it was a great lesson to learn, which basically he talked about when he really got into film. He didn't want to feel like he was always wasting hours of his life away just watching movies. So after every movie he watched, he would write like a short paper, just like a 1-page paper about like what if he liked it, if he didn't like it, how it was shot, whatever it was, but at least putting something out into the world or out on paper, something creative as an output instead of just always taking in and not putting anything out in return.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that before.
So if you are maybe taking in a bunch of stuff, maybe take a moment and write some things about it, and maybe that'll at least, jumpstart something. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So let's do a quick, it's a really quick and brief rapid fire round. How well do you know me?
Oh, no. Can I
Nope.
pass on this round?
You already opted in at the beginning of.
I don't have a great memory.
Oh, sweetie, it's quick. It's like 7 things. You ready? How well do you know me? This or that? Are you ready? Let me check.
I'm ready, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 topics. 8 topics. Do we have the buzzer ready here? Do we have the buzzer ready?
Be on this show.
In accordance to of the subject matter, your girlfriend Tess. This or that. Are you ready, Kelly? In 3, 2, 1.
Ready.
Bring. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Boom. White or wheat?
Wheat.
Yes. Alcohol or schwishwas?
Schwishwa puff puff.
Yeah. Braless or broad?
Braless.
Damn fucking right.
Free the titties.
Summer or winter?
Summer. Summertime.
So far, he's at 100, folks. Regular water or soda water?
Regular water.
Ooh, he remains at 100. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Bing, 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 bing. And last but not least, cats or dogs?
Cats. Gatos, baby.
Oh, trick question. She loves all animals.
Oh.
He fails.
I still get 100. But no. So wait, nope, you have to choose cats and dogs. Which one do you choose?
Dicks. Sorry, I choose to love all animals. You can't make me choose. Nah, that was just a trick question. I had to throw in a good trick question at the end.
All right.
Because the truth was, it was too easy. It's too easy, and you know me too well.
All right. Well, I don't know if you mind, but
oh no, I'm not doing your this or that. No.
No. I mean, I am your boyfriend and your producer, but
not anymore.
That's it.
Didn't we break up like halfway through this thing?
Yeah, maybe so. I'll have to rewatch it.
Twice at least. You might have to ask me out again.
I remember you said something nice, so I'm going to have to definitely replay that part. But
I think he's going to ask me out at the end of this episode.
Ooh, how about sushi this Saturday?
No, the restaurants are closed.
Oh, yeah. I am here to promote something, though.
Okay. And sorry, but we have no more time today. Thanks so much, Kelly Ireland. Thanks for being here. Bye. Just kidding. Oh my God. I think he got cut off. Oh my God, you guys. Oh no. All right, guys. So his phone actually died tragically. He did have something to promote. Allow me to promote it for him. He has recently started a podcast along with my brother, Jonas Sullivan. Two great minds have come together for a podcast called I Don't Have Time to Google That Shit. So if you yourself find yourself not having time to Google the things you want to Google, except you do want to listen to a podcast at the end of each week for an hour or so, hit them up at I Don't Have Time to Google the Shit. You can find them on all podcast platforms. They'll be there. I'll be here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Have a fucking awesome night. And Tizzy, out. You don't have to make the sound. It already does it for you. Bye.